And the first things they ever said to my mum and dad is, one day I'll play for England. I don't know when it'll be, but one day I'll play for England. And it's been nearly 10 years now, and we're one step closer. Hopefully I'll make the squad for Finland and get to make my international debut.
When you think of England internationals to have played for West Bromwich Albion, the likes that may spring to mind would be Laurie Cunningham.
Little header from Regis for Cunningham, and if he keeps his head, he'll score.
Jeff Astor.
Astor banged one in, hit the rebound, goal!
And Cyril Regis.
A lovely piece of control by Regis. Oh, and what a great shot! Oh, one of the goals of the season! Cyril Regis.
One that doesn't is Brad Bates. He plays a sport called Powerchair Football, and I'm here at the Albion Foundation to find out more about the lesser known England international and to see how Powerchair Football affects the lives of people who have to deal with obstacles in their everyday life.
So I'm Brad Bates, I play for West Bromwich Albion PFC. I'm 20 and I've got spinal muscular atrophy type 2, which is a muscle wasting condition. Basically, my legs have practically got no movement myself. My upper body is limited. I can move my arms, but it's very limited and a struggle.
Just get him up, dressed, ready for the day, if he needs going anywhere, if the car's not set up for him, if it's something that he needs help with when he gets there, I'll drive him. Just lots of things really, everything. Cook for him, help him with his teeth, anything and everything.
Basically every aspect of day-to-day life. Like I can set an alarm, but I can't get myself washed and dressed. Even as simple as going to the toilet, I have to have help off my mum or my sister. Driving, I can drive myself now, but match days I get my mum to drive because I can't drive in this chair. And there's no point getting myself tired out. I'd rather save my energy from performance. So every aspect really. And my mum and my sister and my carers, and they help with all that.
He's gone through quite a few battles, pneumonia and collapsed lung and quite a few different things, but he's always had the get up and go. He's always wanted to come play football. He's always wanted to get to the England to be able to do that, and obviously he's been to one camp. He did miss a camp while he was in hospital that he was gutted about. But they have said there's a chance of another camp, so fingers crossed, all being well, he'll get where he wants to be.
However, despite Brad missing the international camp just after Christmas and being advised to stay away from action, he couldn't keep away from a sport he loves.
I missed the England camp while I was in hospital. Luckily this one was only 2 weeks I was in. Last time I was in for 6, so it's a lot better than last time. I'm just glad to be here. I missed playing in the cup match. That was torture just watching from the side, but I'm glad to be back now.
We've told him to be home now, he shouldn't be here, but he's passionate, he wants to be here, he wants to be the team, he loves the boys, so yeah, he just quite lost on Tuesday, he was trying to train again, like that shows how much he means to him, how much he wants to be here. Everyone's characters, so for example we've got one lad coming from Brighton, got one coming from Manchester, one from Liverpool, so all different areas just to go and play for West Brom because they're happy with the team they've got and who they represent. So.
Cheers.
I think it's one of those things that until you see it, or if you have a go at it, you don't realise the intricacy of it and the skill. It looks straightforward, or you think about it, Powerchair Football, how does it work, and then until you see the big ball and the goals and the skill that they've got and the dexterity in their hands to be able to do in the tactics. So it's when people see it, it's always one of those things that I like to show people because they're blown away by it. They are so impressed by how skillful they are.
It's football at its finest, and what we're seeing now with some of the new equipment, we've got a Strike Force chair which is much faster, more agile, so we can see more passing of the game. So you've got your traditional ins and outs, your goal kicks, your phases of play. And what's great now is that the sport's developed to a point where teams have different philosophies. So West Brom, who we've watched today, have got quite an open, expansive game where they'll perhaps concede a few goals but will score plenty as well. Other teams like Sevenoaks they've played against today, perhaps a bit more defensive, look to plan the counter-attack. So there's lots of different philosophies, so compares quite directly to the running game in a lot of ways, actually.
And it's fantastic that you've got guys in wheelchairs and all levels, so from grassroots, just people enjoying the game, up to the elite team. So we've obviously got the first team winning the National League, winning the League and Cup double, and they're fantastic role models. But it gives young people who are in chairs an opportunity to put on the shirt, represent their club, potentially represent their country, and seeing those guys and seeing the enjoyment they get is absolutely brilliant.
But like any sport, there comes a cost. And with Powerchair Football being a disability sport, specialised equipment is required and has to be bought and transported from overseas.
These chairs and strike forces were designed specifically for Powerchair Football. The old chairs that we used were sort of like day chairs that were modified for the game rather than something that was purpose built. So my company G5 Sports, we actually distribute these chairs from America. So they're built in Minnesota in the States. They're custom built to each individual, and then they're shipped across to us and we distribute them around the country.
Initially, players started playing with like half a car tyre, which was like put on the front of the chair. So there wasn't all these flash bumpers you see now and all these metal bumpers. It was purely about cutting half a car tyre and just getting some string or some tape and literally attaching that to the front of the chair. But it was effective, it worked, and it started the sport in England.
From what I understand, in my short time of coming here, around about $10,000 or pounds, depending on what extras and how you want your chair set up. West Bromwich Albion obviously have a number of chairs, and they have to be sort of loaned between different players.
And nowadays, I wouldn't dream of playing in this now. I'd actually use a specialist chair made for the sport, which to have that is a massive bonus. But I actually thought it was quite slow to start with. I thought it was very dribbly and driving. It's only really the last few years that it's got more dynamic with the passing and the wheelchairs. So I actually thought it was a little bit like bumper cars. But to be fair, I enjoyed it and I wasn't bad at it.
And with the cost of equipment at a premium, I wanted to find out how non-profit organisations source funds and what else could be done to generate finance.
We get money from the Premier League, which is West Bromwich Albion's money. So we do get funded through that. Our turnover, we also then income generate. So we have bids for grants. We get funding through things like Big Lottery, Children in Need. We sell our services to schools. We sell our services to participants. We do fundraising, sponsorship. So there's a whole raft of different funding streams that come into the main pot.
The clubs give that little bit back. I don't know if it happens all the time. You only have to look at the way the game money-wise has evolved over the last couple of years. That's gone really, really quick. Do they give anything back to the clubs in League One, League Two? That struggle to survive sometimes. I don't think they always do. Yeah, there always is a lot more that can be given. And I think it's important because there's that much money at the top at the moment that doesn't filter through to the bottom. But once that happens, you give people, with much lesser chance in life, an opportunity to fulfill, their ambitions and their inspirations and their aspirations.
Powerchair Football may not be on the same level as the mainstream game, and this may well be the first time you've heard of it. But it's a sport that's very much on the rise. It originated 14 years ago, forming in France back in 2005. Since then, the sport has seen a worldwide increase in clubs affiliated with Powerchair Football, as there are now 8 countries who are in partnership with the European scheme. And closer to home, there are 94 Powerchair Football teams across England, and with over 1,000 players training on a weekly basis. And despite how far Powerchair Football has come, there are still areas that are yet to be explored, with work already being done to develop the sport.
More than ever now, we've got more people engaged, not just in the amount of clubs that are involved in, but each club has more teams now, so it's more in depth. They've got a first team, maybe the development team, and then there'd be a bunch of others who are just learning the game, and so we encourage them that way. So on the European level, you've got France, obviously, who got several leagues, and they are very well advanced. internationally, you've got Australia are doing very well, and the South Americans are doing very, very well. The Argentinas, the Brazils, they're coming on board and they're going to be really strong in the world scene.
I still think there's lots to achieve for Powerchair Football. I still think there's people out there that we haven't reached, we haven't engaged with. There's still capacity to grow in terms of playing numbers and teams and clubs across the country. There's work for us to do on, as I said before, raising the profile of Powerchair Football and who we cater for. There's work to do on improving the quality of the coaching that we provide, upskilling our coaches, upskilling our referees, and that workforce development element. As a charity, raising our profile so that we can become more visible to help raise funds and generate income.
European-wise, it's slowly to take off. It's harder to take off because there's not a lot of money around. So a lot of people haven't got the chairs to use. We try and take chairs with us, of course, but that's not always possible. Purely for the flight situation, a lot of planes won't take multiple chairs, so that's very difficult. So equipment-wise, it's difficult. But we do, when we go over to that country, we do buy things for them. We do speed tests. We put adaptments for chairs. We take balls, cones, and then we train their officials as well. So hopefully, we give them the whole package for them to develop as a country.
The future is bright. There's still a lot for us to do. We've made great strides since 2005, but there's still a lot for us to do, and it's a challenge that me as the new national development manager, I'm really looking forward to getting into more and more now.
And whilst the rise of Powerchair Football may come at a cost, the value it brings to people's lives cannot be underestimated, both on and off the pitch.
I think it's great that people with a disability can actually play a really competitive sport. People don't come and go, it's an involvement. People look and actually get excited about the game. So I think it's great to see them have something they can be passionate about, really commit a lot of their lives to, where some of the players now are training 3 or 4 days a week, so real professional setups. And that's the same for myself as well. I don't play, but my involvement's different. It's a way of life for me now. It's something I absolutely love being involved in, and I can't imagine not being around it anymore.
I think the impact for me personally is that, as a football mad kid growing up, that I've been able to compete on a level playing field. Growing up, I was always trying to get involved in sport as best I could, and it wasn't until Powerchair Football came around where I could finally get stuck in. Playing a team sport, which is vital, is the sports where you can have your own sort of success. But for me, it's being part of a team, being part of a group, and all working together to try and achieve something.
I can't even put it into words. The amount of lifetime friends and professionals and amazing people I've met that live, that's the only problem, they live all over the country. Some of my best friends live in Middlesbrough and Kent, so it's so far away, but they're friends for life, and the social aspect's incredible. And I've always wanted to play in competitive sport. Never thought I'd be able to until I came across it, but to be able to play competitively and now hopefully go on and represent England at the Euros, something I never dreamed I'd be able to do.
Powerchair Football may just seem like another version of a beautiful game, but for those who are involved in the sport, it's much more than that. It's a chance to put their everyday worries aside and gives them the opportunity to do what they love the most, and for that reason you can't question as to why more and more clubs are entering the world of Powerchair Football.